Do you know how to say which season of the year is your favorite in Spanish and why? Whether you love the heat of summer, the coziness of winter, or the colors of autumn, by the end of this episode, you'll know how to talk all about the seasons in Spanish. Welcome to Spanglish Friends, the podcast for true beginner Spanish learners.
Hola amigos, I'm Val, your co-host and experienced Spanish teacher from Venezuela.
And I'm Em, your Australian co-host who's been learning Spanish for 10 years.
Our goal is simple, to get you confident listening and speaking in beginner Spanish with content you'll actually use in real-life conversations.
Join the Spanish Friends community by subscribing wherever you listen to podcasts and following us on social media at Spanglish_friends. Let's get started.
Comencemos.
Oli, oli, amigos. Welcome back to the Spanglish Friends podcast.
Hola, Spanglish friends. We are so happy to have you join us for episodio 19, episode 19. I can't believe we are already at episode 19.
It's crazy, isn't it? And today's topic, friends, is all about las estaciones del año, the seasons of the year in Spanish.
And we are going to make it super easy and fun to learn, whether it's spring flowers, summer sun, autumn leaves, or winter snow. You'll have the Spanish words to talk about your favorite times of the year and reply in clear, beginner-friendly Spanish.
Great conversational skills that you would actually use when chatting with native speakers. By the end of today's episode, you'll be able to answer these three preguntas, these three questions with ease, okay? Número uno, how do you say the 4 seasons of the year in Spanish? Número dos, how do you ask someone, what is your favorite season? And número tres, how do you reply with what your favorite season is and expand on your reply to say why? For example, I love summer because I like the heat.
Me encanta. Love it. Let's first dive into our mini conversation today to bring to life what you'll be learning and put into practice your Spanish listening skills.
Then we're going to break it all down, all the vocab and expressions you'll need to understand the entire conversation.
Setting the scenes for today's conversation. Imagine, Spanglish friends, we're walking through a park, chatting about the time of the year. I'm going to ask Em about the seasons of the year and our favorite seasons.
Awesome, Profe Val. Now pay attention, Spanglish friends, this first time around, just to see if you can catch any familiar words. All right? Entonces, Val, ¿estás lista? Are you ready, mi amiga?
Sí, amiga. Comencemos. Emi, ¿cuáles son las 4 estaciones del año?
Son verano, otoño, invierno y primavera.
Genial. ¿Y cuál es tu estación favorita?
Mi estación favorita es verano porque me gusta el calor. ¿Cuál es tu estación favorita, Val?
Mi estación favorita es el otoño, porque me gustan los colores naranja y amarillo de las hojas.
Me gustan los colores de otoño también.
Can you believe it, Spanglish friends? In just 10 minutes, you'll know everything you need to understand that whole conversation about the seasons in Spanish. Let's start the timer and dive into our first question of the day.
Absolutamente, Val. And our first question is, how do you say the 4 seasons of the year in Spanish?
They are verano, which means summer, otoño, which means autumn or fall, invierno, which means winter, and primavera, which means spring.
That's right. And to say the seasons of the year, you'd say las estaciones del año. Okay? Las estaciones means the seasons. It's a feminine plural noun, a feminine plural thing. So we use las instead of los in this case. And we say del año, which means of the year. Del is a contraction word. What that means is we're combining the words de and el, but instead of saying de el, which doesn't sound right in Spanish because it's the sound of these two e's together. So whenever that happens, we drop the second e, so it becomes del. Okay? So we know the word año from our birthday episode. Episode 11 means year. We're putting this sentence fully together. Las estaciones del año means the seasons of the year.
Great explanation, Em. Thank you. Let's say them all together one more time before we move into our second question. Las estaciones del año son, the season of the year are verano, otoño, invierno, and primavera.
Awesome, Val. Now, question número dos that we're answering today is, how do you ask someone what is their favorite season of the year in simple Spanish?
The question you would ask or hear is, ¿cuál es tu estación favorita? Breaking this sentence, this question down would be, ¿cuál means what, and es tu means is your, and estación, we know now, means season. And favorita, can you guess what that means? Of course, it's like in English, it means favorite. So all together would be, what is your favorite season?
That's right. Let's repeat that question slowly together. ¿Cuál es tu estación favorita?
This is a great question to use in casual conversations, especially when talking about like holiday plans, travel, weather, or just your favorite things.
Absolutely. So, Profe Val, coming to our final question of the day, pregunta número 3, how do we answer that question? If someone asks us, ¿cuál es tu estación favorita? How do we answer in simple Spanish?
You can simply say, mi estación favorita es, followed by the season you like. Mi means my, estación means season, and favorita means favorite. So altogether, mi estación favorita would be my favorite season. Remember, if we literally translated this sentence, it would be my season favorite is, because in Spanish, we reverse the order of the noun and the adjective.
So you would say mi estación favorita es, okay, my favorite season is, then you would choose which of the 4 seasons, verano, otoño, invierno, or primavera. Or you could show off your beginner Spanish skills and add on additionally why. Why do you like that particular season?
Exactly. So you could add on a reason using porque me gusta. So the full sentence, for example, could be, mi estación favorita es verano porque me gusta el calor. And what that means? That means my favorite season is summer because I like the heat. Porque means because, and me gusta means I like. And el calor means the heat. Mi estación favorita es verano porque me gusta el calor.
Nice. Let's hear another example of saying why we like a particular season. So I could say the sentence, mi estación favorita es la primavera, porque me gustan las flores. Let's break this sentence down. So I said, my favorite season is, do you remember what primavera means? It means spring. So mi estación favorita es la primavera. And I used the sentence porque, and I said, me gustan, with an A-N at the end, me gustan las flores. Do you notice here that I said gustan instead of me gusta?
Yes, you did this because you were talking about flowers, a plural word, okay? More than one. If it was just one flower, you would say like una flor, me gusta una flor. I like a flower. But if you want to say you like something that is plural, like multiple things, you have to say me gustan too much las flores.
So I had to say me gustan las flores. So the complete sentence was mi estación favorita es la primavera porque me gustan las flores. So I said my favorite season is spring because I like flowers. Now we have all the ammunition we need, Spanglish friends, to go and successfully break down that mini conversation from before, line by line.
Exactamente. But before we do this, we have a listener shout out of the week.
Yes, 100%. And this week's shout out goes to Gabe, who commented on our Instagram post from last week, where I shared a little bit more about my Spanish learning journey over the last 10 years. And he shared this comment saying, "Congratulations on becoming fluent in Spanish, Em. Your journey is truly inspiring, and I'm loving the Spanglish Friends podcast so far." How lovely.
Thank you so much for listening and your kind words, Gabe. I can certainly attest that M's Spanish is just amazing. I'm so proud as her teacher. And I have a plan to show you all some more of her Spanish. I'm planning this next episode, our special episode 20, episode 20.
Oh, exciting teaser, Val. But speaking of Spanish, let's listen again now to our conversación pequeña to put into practice our listening skills, okay? This time around, Spanglish friends, listen out to see if you can catch those 4 seasons of the year. We mentioned 2 seasons of the year in our conversation about our favorite months. Can you pick up which 2 seasons of the year we were speaking about and what we like particularly about those months? Ready to hit replace, Profe Val?
Amiga, sí. Comencemos. Emi, ¿cuáles son las 4 estaciones del año?
Son verano, otoño, invierno y primavera.
Genial. ¿Y cuál es tu estación favorita?
Mi estación favorita es verano porque me gusta el calor. ¿Cuál es tu estación favorita, Val?
Mi estación favorita es el otoño porque me gustan los colores naranja y amarillo de las hojas.
Me gustan los colores de otoño también.
Okay, amigos, let's break down this conversation. I started by saying, Emi, ¿cuáles son las 4 estaciones del año? Which literally means what are the 4 seasons of the year.
Yes, Profe Val was testing me to start with, and I replied with son verano, summer, otoño, autumn or fall, invierno, winter, and primavera, spring. Then Val asked me our first question of the day. Okay, she asked me, ¿Cuál es tu estación favorita? Okay, she asked me, what's my favorite season?
Exactly, I did. And Em replied, mi estación favorita es verano porque me gusta el calor. She said, my favorite season is summer. Mi estación favorita es verano because I like the heat, porque me gusta el calor.
That's right. I used the explanation sentence that we learnt today. Porque me gusta plus the thing that I liked, el calor, the heat. Okay. I asked Val in return the same question. I said, ¿Cuál es tu estación favorita, Val?
And I responded by saying, mi estación favorita es el otoño porque me gustan los colores naranja y amarillo de las hojas. So I said, my favorite season is autumn. Mi estación favorita es el otoño because me gustan, I like los colores naranja y amarillo de orange and yellow colors de las hojas, of the leaves.
Right. What a great sentence incorporating some of those colors that we've learnt in the past and now being able to say what we like. Amazing. And to finish the conversation off, I simply said, me gustan los colores del otoño también. Okay. I said, I like the colors of autumn as well. También means as well. Excellent choice, amiga.
Amazing, friends. You can now understand that whole conversation in Spanish and talk about the seasons in Spanish. Let's do a quick recap of what we've learned today. If you forget everything else, just remember these 3 things. Número 1. The 4 seasons in Spanish are verano, otoño, invierno, and primavera. Número 2. To ask someone what their favorite season is, you can simply say, ¿Cuál es tu estación favorita? And last one, número 3. To answer that question and explain why, use the sentence mi estación favorita es, plus you add the season you like. And you can also explain why by saying porque me gusta and add the thing you like. Example, mi estación favorita es el verano porque me gusta el calor. And remember, each week we post a summary on our Instagram page of the 3 key learnings from each episode. So check this out.
Alrighty, friends, it's our challenge time. It's our reto of the week. This week, we want you to tell us, what is your favorite season? ¿Cuál es tu estación favorita in Spanish?
Post in the comments or DMing us on Instagram, mi estación favorita es, and finish the sentence with the season and with a reason. You could say, for example, mi estación favorita es primavera porque me gustan las flores.
We would love to hear your answer, Spanglish friends, and feature it potentially in a next upcoming episode shout out.
Maravilloso. Speaking of next episode, we do have a treat for you.
Yes, we do. Next episode, we are hitting the 20s. We're hitting episode 20, and we're going to be hosting a special episode where you're going to hear my true Spanish skills as a native English speaker be put to the test, okay? Our profe Val, our teacher Val, is going to be giving me a little prueba, a little test in Spanish, and you can all learn from my mistakes.
Dios mío, my gosh. So many amazing things happening next week. Estoy súper emocionada. I'm so very excited, friends. Hasta la próxima, and until next time.
Ciao, ciao, Spanglish friends. Stay awesome. We'll see you next week.
Thank you for listening to Spanglish Friends. We are both so proud of the time you're investing to level up your Spanish listening and speaking skills.
If you've enjoyed today's episode, follow us and give the show a rating wherever you listen to podcasts. Or even better, tell a friend about the show. It's how we can help even more people on their Spanish learning journeys and continue to grow our awesome, supportive community.
Don't forget to check out our socials, including Instagram and TikTok at Spanglish_friends for even more beginner Spanish fun.
Congratulations on taking another step today towards your Spanish learning goals. Ciao, Spanglish amigos. Until next time.
Hasta la próxima, amigos.